Who start first? Luke, do the honor.
Okay, I'll start. So I'm English and I've lived in England my whole life. A forklift driver. And that's about it, really.
Married?
Yes.
Children?
No children.
There you go.
Okay.
Homeowner or renter?
Renter.
There you go. Clarence?
Okay, start with. I'm Clarence. I'm originally from the Philippines. Living in the UK for almost 14 years now. I'm hotelier, divorcee, and own a small flat in within Cambridge itself.
Nice. Ali?
Thank you.
Ali, you sound a bit quiet on your end.
I think the volume of your yeah
Oh,
Yeah, a bit
yeah
low.
okay. Should I repeat again?
yeah perfect.
A little better. A little
Okay.
better.
I'm Ali. Actually, I'm from Pakistan, living in Saudi Arabia and doing a job as a tourism in Riyadh right now, Saudi Arabia, and still single at the age of 30.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I know. I know.
All right. All right. So I'll go. I'm Dave. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, here in the United States. 61 years old, 61 and a half. If you want to be technical, I'm really focusing on my retirement, which I hope happens soon. But unfortunately, this year, for the third year in a row, I was laid off. It's a seasonal layoff. I don't know what they call it in other countries. Maybe it's the same, but I'm not currently working right now, so that might delay things. But it's given me a lot of time to meet people and create and do certain things that I wouldn't do if I was working. I wouldn't have the time. So I'm a truck driver, and I think I have worked for the same company Luke works for. We don't if he doesn't want to say it, he doesn't have to. But I
Oh,
read that in your
really?
profile. Yeah, XPO, right?
Yeah.
Conway. Yeah, I was there for Conway before turning, but I wasn't a forklift driver. I was just a truck driver. But anyway, so I'm on a seasonal layoff and just learning Riverside, learning a lot of things, trying to get things ready. And so I might be laid off. I've been laid off for over a month now. It might last 3 months. It might last 6 months. It might be permanent. I have no idea. But it is what it is. I'm married. I have an adult son, and I own this house. It is snowing outside right now. It is. It is. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. That's my
Oh,
backyard.
lovely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's lovely until it's 3 inches or 4 inches. Then it's a pain. Then it's snowblower time, and I don't want to really bring out the snowblower. I'd rather it just melt. So anyway, that's it. I have a podcast. I have a YouTube channel. Podcast is Dumbing It Down with Dave. The YouTube channel is Dave's Fit Life, and I've been doing this. I don't know, since 2016. That's for sure. I started 2016, and I have yet to do anything really great. It's just, but I do it. I can do it, but I just, and I've made a little bit of money, but not a lot of money. Well, almost no money, but it is what it is, and that's it. So I saw Luke's post, and I'm curious as to see what happens. There you go.
Dave, does your son live locally to you, or is it in the same area, in the same state?
My son,
Yeah.
he lives about 40 feet in front of me.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Or meters. I don't know. I want to be respectful to the metric system because I'm probably the only one that doesn't use it. So I will try to get a chart. So anytime we talk about distance or time or whatever or money, I'll have the conversion right in front of me. Yeah, but he's in the same house and he's an
Right.
adult and
Nice.
he's figuring it out. He's figuring it out. I hope. There you
Right.
go.
So, on to the next. The purpose of the podcast. So the purpose of what I want to get across on this podcast is to inspire people to travel because uh, not a lot of people, most, no, a lot of people who I know, they don't travel so much. Like, they travel locally or they travel to the same destination every time or things like this. People say to me, traveling is so expensive. And I think you can start small. You can start, there's always an option. Always an option. So, why do you travel, Clarence?
I start fond of traveling when I start working in the cruise ship. That's why that is way back 2000. Yeah, 2000. The first travel I did was going to Thailand, Bangkok to find a job, but I end up working in a cruise ship in America. And then from there, the opportunity to travel and to see the world for free while working in the cruise ship makes me feel to travel more and more, discovering food, discovering people, cultures, and of course, its capacity to what experience I can get from specific place that I've been, and of course, experience.
Nice. Ali, what,
Yep.
how do you travel? Why do you travel?
Um, First, I actually joined this industry. It's actually by chance. I don't have any intentions to join this industry, but when I joined the travel industry back in 2016, I think we should learn something about exploring new things, like the places or the country, the cultures. So first I moved to Dubai in 2016 to find a job and ended up as a manager in the tourism company. It's called Discovery by Tourism. In this company, I actually gained a lot of knowledge about the people of different countries and the cultures because every country have a. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
It's a bit quiet still.
I'm sorry if my internet connection
just put
is
your
slow.
the no, just put
So
your mic near you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, actually, it's the first time, so I'm sorry if it's not
Yeah.
good. So, as Clarence told, his job was first as a cruise ship crew. So I had only one time experience from Dubai to Bahrain and Qatar in 2018, and it's always nice. And yeah, for today, that's all I have to say. Maybe in next podcast, I'll try to share some more experiences.
Joe.
Dave,
Thank you.
Yeah. You know what? I can't give you a reason. I can't give you one reason. It's a multiple reasons. But
yeah,
growing up in New York, all right, it's like you meet a lot of people. They're from everywhere, and I used to watch on TV. There used to be this thing called the International Children's Film Festival. You may never have heard of it. It might have only aired in the United States. I don't know. But every week they aired a movie, and it wasn't like Toy Story. It wasn't like Steven Spielberg. It wasn't any famous movie. It was movies made by filmmakers from all around the world. And one movie you'd be in the Netherlands. The next movie you'd be in Japan. The next movie you'd be in wherever. And it wasn't every week, and I didn't know when it was on, but it just I watched a lot of TV when I was a kid, so I would see these movies and go, wow, that's amazing. There's kids like me all over the world, and I may never meet them. I don't know, but they're in this movie and they're having problems with their friends. They're having problems with their family, in school. It's like it's just me, but it's everywhere else in the world, and I just found that really fascinating. Plus, anywhere I was or I was going to was always better than home. I always just wanted to go anywhere, get out of the house, get out of the, prison that was home because for whatever circumstances, it was different for me. So when I was in the back of my father's car going down the New Jersey Turnpike or wherever highway we were traveling, I'd always be staring right out that window, and I never got bored of it. Never got bored. Tree, 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 building, tree, car, mountain, building, car. Just I love it, all of it. So every time I'm going somewhere, I'm very happy. So I think that fed into my hunger for travel. Like, I want to meet people, I want to see people, and I know they're just like me. I know they are, even though they're in Dubai or they're in the Philippines or they're in the UK. It's amazing, and now more than ever, it's important we connect more than ever. But it's always been important. But I think you're right, Luke. I think there's like a stigma to travel. There's a thing about travel. It's difficult. It's expensive. It takes up too much time. In the United States, I think we're the leader in not going on vacation. I think the United States, I think Americans are the leaders in selling their time back to their jobs and just getting the money. I'm sure I read that several times, and that's sad. That's not good. So that's my reason for traveling. I love it. It's always good to go away.
But the thing about travelling in America, I guess, that there's still a lot to see in America without even leaving the country.
Exactly.
Sure. Well, you could say the same thing for Italy. I was in Italy a couple of years ago. You can live in Italy, and you'll never see all of Italy.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm sure you could say the same thing for UK. I mean, can you see all? I don't know how big the UK is, but or the Philippines. I mean, it could be repetitive. It could be a lot of farm. But I hear the UK. There's so many different towns. You can't
And
see it
remember
all.
in UK, Dave, they have 4 countries within that uh,
Right.
kingdom.
Yeah.
Right. United Kingdom. Right. And by the way, a lot of Americans don't know that, and I don't know that either. Thank you for reminding me. It's the United Kingdom, so
Yeah.
it's more than one.
Imagine
But
4 countries already. If you're
there you
counting
go.
countries, how many countries have you been? Right away, within a week, you can cover 4 countries
Right.
on
Right.
your
Right.
on your
Yeah.
count.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's
and
it's
by the way,
fascinating.
yeah, I had a chance to visit the whole UAE when I was in Dubai. There are actually there's 7 states in UAE. Maybe you know all.
Oh
It's
yeah,
including the famous one, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah, one of them.
Qatar. Yeah.
So I actually visit most of the places where all the tourists go because I was in the tourism company. So we always had a chance to take them to the different places like the famous one Burj Khalifa and the Ferrari World Abu Dhabi and some sports activities. I had a chance. Even right now here in UAE, in Saudi Arabia, most of the famous places as compared to the land area, Saudi Arabia is quite bigger country than UAE, and I'm still trying to figure out the new places, but it will take time to explore new places. Like here, right now, the most famous place is Al Ula. If you maybe you can Google it. They have built a square mirror building. Maybe you have heard of it. It's near to the Neon City. Maybe you all people have heard about the $500 billion new project for the Saudi Arabia.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think it's the one of the biggest project of Saudi Arabia to boost the tourism. So I was always lucky to visit the most of the places, even being in a single country.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then you look. What's the reason why you travel?
Yeah, actually, the reason I would say I am lucky because I'm in this industry and I always have a chance. And in the other hand, I would say it's about the passion because
And how?
I see many of the people, even in my company, they come to office, do jobs, and close the laptops and go to the home. Simple as that. But I always endorse them, go outside, find some new places. If you are in the industry, if some of your clients ask, do you have any new places to explore? Do you know about this place? If I don't have the experience about the place, then how can I share the knowledge about them? How can I confess them? You should visit this place. So yeah, I'm passionate to explore the new places.
And how about you, Luke? What's the reason why you travel? when you start traveling?
Uh,
Well, I didn't
by the way,
start.
yeah, go ahead.
I didn't start traveling till I was about 30, so I felt like I missed out on a lot in that time. But I feel like when you travel, you learn a lot about culture. You learn a lot about yourself as well, and
I
and
agree
yeah,
on you. I agree on you on that look. When you met a person that hasn't been travel, I'm not I'm not going to underestimate them, but the they're not open minded. They just
yes,
only their head is just closed. They not even adapt to any circumstances that they lay there on the table. Like for example, with food, when I moved to another country, that these people I've met that haven't been traveling, they just only stick to what they
yeah,
see on their everyday table, what on their table all the time. Not like when you travel a lot, you explore what the country can offer in terms of food. I
yeah,
was surprised one day here in the UK when I when they when they serve a fish with the heads on, they don't want to eat. Instead, they prefer to eat a fish fillet. But in other country, like in Mexico, in South America, in Asia, they always prefer to eat fish with the heads on. And that's think of it like, oh, okay, why eat with your mouth, not with your eyes?
yes,
Yeah,
And I think it's the same thing in the Asian countries like Thailand and Laos, Cambodia. They also eat with heads.
yeah.
Yeah.
when I travel in any new place, I will try anything. I When we was in Paris, I was eating snails. I don't mind.
Really?
Escargot.
You're a brave man.
Whoever
Did
have you ever traveled to Thailand,
Not
the
yet.
land of exotic?
It's on the
I
list.
would say China.
Yeah, because
Look at the
they're
Chinese
eating they're
Yeah,
eating roaches
snakes.
there.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
eating bugs, everything in China. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's a very famous saying about the Chinese. They say, eat who walks, even on four legs. They eat cats, dogs. Yeah. It's so weird.
Everything that moves you can eat.
Yeah.
Wow.
so I have a question. Have you all
Okay.
travelled to your dream destination, or is it still on the list to do?
I'll start first, yeah. When I was a kid, we have a book called Children's Encyclopedia, and every time I open that book, it gives me a picture of the country. One of the country that I want to go and haven't been is the Kremlin in Russia, which when I was a kid, I was thinking it was a big lollipop of candies, an array of candies because of its color.
Yeah,
And when I turned the other page, is the Queen Margaret ship, which is happened that I already been to work in the cruise ship, so that's already been fulfilled. But when that destination, once the place in or the border in Russia is already open for public, I think that's one of my destination to go.
nice.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I
my
don't.
dream
Oh,
destination
but
for my whole life was Brazil,
Oh
and
well,
so on
few more
Thursday,
days. Look.
on Thursday, I will be fulfilling my dream to be in Brazil. Also on my at the top of my list was to visit Rome as well, to see
Oh
the
wow,
Colosseum.
Rome,
Oh,
beautiful.
I was there last year in Rome, so yeah, I'll
Luke, will
bring
you
my
be
big
playing? Will you be playing beach football and with your foot and not with
yeah.
your hands? And they're very talented. They got a lot of skills there on that beach. So if you get into a game or a match, whatever you call it, be careful because they're really really good over there.
Yeah,
There's a lot of beach, right? That whole country is like a beach, one
yeah.
long, beautiful, beautiful, and you got hot weather coming. So congratulations. Can't wait to hear about how it goes.
Yeah,
You'll be taking footage. You'll be taking video and or else selfies and ussies and all that.
yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Good. Congratulations. Wow. Excellent. How about you, Ali?
Uh, Italy, of course, like the Venice. There are a lot of, the uh, the Venice is on the water, so I would love to explore, but it's still on my top destination to visit. I hope one day, maybe end of this year, because in May or June, I'm trying to apply for the visa for the USA. If I get, I'll disturb you there. But right now, at the
Wow.
moment, it's Italy, Venice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Italy. I was in Italy. I landed in Milan and then we traveled to Lake Como. It was northern Italy. And beautiful. Just fantastic. And not much different from where I live now. Not that much different, but everything's Italian. It's different, but the same. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of
Yeah.
mountains and a lot of tight roads and old houses, but it was nice. And then we took a quick 1 day trip to Switzerland, and that was also we rode a. I'm gonna try to say it correctly. We rode a funicular. Is that how you say it? A
Yes.
funicular, like a
Funicular,
tram.
yes.
Yeah, it's a tram, and it was pretty steep. And then we got to the top, and it was pretty fantastic. But yeah, you're gonna love Italy. It's fantastic. I would live there in 2 seconds, just so I have a base where I could just spread out all over Europe and come back to Italy and then go back all over to Europe. Great job, Ali. That's great. Venice is nice.
Yeah.
That water's a lot though for me. I mean, I don't know. If it rains, I hear it gets pretty, you know,
You will love
flooded.
Ali once you visit Italy. You will love Italy.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah,
I think
Italy's
so.
amazing.
It's in my top list.
There
The
you
only
go.
thing that I don't like in Italy when I visit there is when I went to Rome. Yeah.
What is that?
To my understanding, Rome is a land of gods and all saints. Yeah, because I've been to Vatican. Unfortunately, I was been robbed
Oh,
by the train
Oh,
in Termini,
oh,
and
there's a
it
lot of
was
pickpockets.
a pickpockets. Yeah, because I was thinking it's the land of all saints, all people. You being naive, being a constant traveler, you overlook that type of thing because you're overwhelmed with the place, with the
Wow.
structure and everything, and then suddenly my wallet's gone. But it's an experience.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
that's
That's a
another
great,
amazing place.
yeah, that's a
how
great
do
share,
Yeah,
Clarence.
that's
how do you people
why.
choose the? I have a question. How do you people choose the destination? Like the question is, to choose by land or the mountains or the culture. How do you choose the destination?
It's
I
a good,
start first. I
yeah,
choose destination to the price of the ticket.
yeah.
It's
That's a
good,
good
good,
theory
good, good.
because I have a lot of places on my list, but
But it's
you need to
expensive,
travel.
isn't it? Look,
Sorry.
yeah, you have a top things on your play on thing, but it's too expensive to travel there.
Yes,
But I
I
think
have a
you,
lot of destinations on my list, and then you
I think
travel to.
being in the cruise member, I think you have the 40% discount of their tickets, isn't it? I just heard. Not sure about that.
40% off.
Discount on their tickets for the crew members.
I think when I was working in the cruise ship, because I was a Philippine passport during the time. Yeah. So I cannot invite family to cruise the cruise ship that I've been. So I end up just being a typical worker.
Oh,
But when I settle down in the land, that's the time I enjoy more being a traveler because you really travel without working. You travel for leisure. Yeah. That's the difference between traveling while working and traveling by leisure. There's two different things between the two.
That's how I
Dave,
feel. That's how I feel about what I. Clarence, you're absolutely right. That's how I feel because I'm a truck driver. So I've been driving either a cab, a taxi, a limousine, stretch limousine, or a tractor trailer, a semi, whatever you want to call it, my whole life. So I've driven all over the Northeast. And then when I retire, what do I want to do? I want to travel. And some of my travel is driving. And people will
Yeah.
say, well, why do you want to drive? Aren't you tired? No, I'm not tired of driving on my terms.
Yeah.
I'm tired of driving on their terms. On my terms, I go left, I go right, I stop, I slow down, I speed up, whatever I want to do. It's my
Yeah.
life. So it's totally different. I get exactly what you're saying. And so, yeah, I don't specifically have a dream location. I never thought about one specific place because I want to see it all. Even if it's not on this earth. If it's not on this earth, I'm even more interested because rocket ships are launching, and I want to get a seat. So, and hopefully before I die, it'll be like a cab. It'll be like a taxi. Like I just hold up my hand and get on a rocket and head towards space. That'd be nice. No, I don't. I don't have a specific destination right now. The next destination that's international for me would be Spain. That would be the next one, and maybe one day we'll talk about it. But my plan is to walk the Camino. I don't know if
Oh,
you've ever
yeah.
heard of the Caminos.
Not
Yeah.
a pilgrimage, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. 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 So it used to be like 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 5 people did it, and then 10 people do it. Now everybody's doing it, and there's websites, and there's tourism, and there's albergues, and hostels and hotels. It's a huge industry, but there's many Caminos, and there are many great walks around the world. Great walks. So that's what I'll call them, and obviously in Spanish, it's Camino. In the rest of the world, it's just a great walk. There's great walks in every country. There's a long trail, and you just keep on going, and whatever happens, happens. So that's my dream destination is to walk the earth really, and just meet people and record the experiences and see what happens. I think I might be the oldest out of the four of us, and my time might be a little bit more limited than everybody else. So there's no time to waste. It's time to go. So that's one of the reasons why I was piqued. My interest was piqued by this podcast because it's fun to talk about it, and it's fun to
Yeah.
keep it. It's fun to keep it in front of me. Travel. Dave, think about travel. Think about retirement. Think about the future. Think about what's going to happen. And if you don't talk about it, if you don't think about it, then you'll never do it. You really got to think about it. You have to put it in the rotation of thought, right? You have to think
Yeah.
about it. You have to talk about it. And even if people laugh at you or say, nah, that's too far. No, that's too dangerous. No, they're going to pickpocket you if you go to
I
Rome.
get
No,
my
if you go to, you still got
I
to,
get my
you got to,
podcast.
you got to do it. You got to try. You got to try.
Help yourself.
So
But there's
I talk about it a lot.
pickpockets and scammers every place you go.
Oh yeah.
There's probably one round the corner from your house right
I
now.
think
Mostly,
I
mostly
understand with
everywhere.
that one. Traveling is already part. When you travel, you open yourself to the environment. Whatever environment you have there, you have to deal with it. Your experience is not my experience. That's why sometimes when people say, "Oh, don't go to that place. It's dangerous." From the time that you've been there, that's your experience. And it will not happen to me, your experience, on the time I went to that country.
Yeah.
That's how I see things when I travel. I don't stop myself because my friends or some other people that travel from that country or to that area saying that it's not a good place to visit. No, that will stop you to travel. For me, when I travel, it's based on first is my availability of funds. Second is the food, and then I don't think of where to sleep. Just as long as I have a 6 hours or 8 hours sleep, which is I always use the hostel because I work in hotel. So every time I go to the same hotel because I'm an ex crew of Hilton, and we have a 40% discount
Yeah.
of accommodation. Sometimes we pay £40 for accommodation all over the globe. However, the only thing I don't like there is when I step into a hotel, I feel that I'm working in the hotel
Yeah.
rather than me enjoying the facility of the hotel itself. And every time I enter to the room, are they using the same linen that we use from our hotel? Same thing what I've been to Belgium when I went there. my manager booked me a hotel in Belgium, in Brussels, and I stay on the hotel there. And I feel that I'm still working because some of the day during my travel, my manager saying, "How's the hotel there? Are they using the new system there now?" Which
Oh,
sometimes I prefer not to put my work during my leisure time. Yeah, that's another experience.
Dave, where did
Oh.
you travel in Switzerland?
Uh, I don't remember. It was the whatever it was right next to Italy, right next to Lake Como. I don't remember the name. You know
Is it
what?
Zurich?
No, 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 no. It wasn't Zurich. It was right across the border. There's a famous race car driver here in the United States. Oh, it was okay. The driver. This is how I remember it because I mispronounce it, so it helps me when I mispronounce it. The driver's name, the last name is Logano. So I think the
Oh,
place where I was Lake Lugano. See, I messed it up. It's
yeah, I
something like
think, yeah.
Lugano, Lugano. There's a big lake, and the funicular ran all the way up, and it was amazing. And then we got to the top, and it was time to eat, and I was like, "Oh, great! We're gonna have a great Switzerland lunch." And I had a hot dog with mustard, with a soda. That's all. They weren't. They wasn't anything exotic. I thought, oh yeah, I mean, my wife and I was like, well, let's look at the menu. We'll have some Switzerland lunch. You know, we're hoity-toity now. We're on vacation in Switzerland. We had a hot dog. We had a frankfurter or whatever you call it, and with mustard. It was delicious. It's just I thought there was going to be something Swiss that was
Yeah.
really going to be like wow. But anyway, listen. I think we're cutting off Ali because his volume is low. So I feel bad. I know that Ali's itching to chime in. Go ahead, Ali. Uh
I just
oh.
type in.
Oh. Anyway, yeah, he's gonna.
So we
No, no,
booked
no.
Switzerland. We're going to Brazil this week, and then Switzerland we're going in June. Uh, we paid £110 return flight to Switzerland.
Wow, that's a good deal.
Yeah,
Wow. There you
and
go.
it's supposed to be really beautiful in Switzerland. So
Wow. Yes, it is nice. It is nice. You know, it's interesting, Ali, if you go to Italy, well, where I was, every day for 9 days, they would warn us that the weather coming from Switzerland over was it the Andes? Was it
the
the Andes
Alps,
Mountains? Yeah. The Alps.
Alps.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So every day you'd listen to the radio or whatever it was, and they say, coming from the north over the Alps is going to rain. It's going to rain and it's going to be bad every day. And every day it didn't rain. I mean, clouds, beautiful, stormy clouds, sun, all different clouds, but it never rained. It might have rained a little bit. It rained at night, but it's interesting that the Alps were right there and the weather was coming over the Alps into Lake Como. And, but we had beautiful weather. We had really, really great weather.
Is
But,
it always cold there, or just normal weather?
no. No, I don't think so. I think it's on the same line of latitude as New York, I think, or it's close. But
Mm,
northern, yeah, you know what? I'm not an expert on northern
okay.
Italy. I was only there for 9 days, but it was
Because
really nice.
north of the side is close to the Switzerland. Switzerland is always cold. Sometimes mostly snow falling. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, it does
I don't
snow
think
there. It
it's
does. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think it's so cold in the summer months in Switzerland. It's
Okay.
No.
not as hot as other European countries, but
Yeah, we got lucky. We got very, very lucky, and it was very affordable, and the hotels were decent, and nothing fancy. No big Hiltons or Sheratons. It was all old buildings. In fact, one building was so old that they're in their booklet when you go in, you check in. There's a booklet of things to do. Their rules and regulations. They did not permit ironing. You were not allowed to iron your clothes,
Yeah, I
and
heard of it. Yeah, I heard that.
it's strange.
yeah, no
When I
ironing
heard,
because Go ahead,
yeah,
Ali.
it looks strange. The guy who sent me a text message, I was just shocked. Is that possible? He said, just Google it. And then I Googled it and I was just shocked. Then the same clothes we have to wear as it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No ironing because the electricity is not strong enough for that.
Yeah.
So that was, I never heard of that in my life. And I figured after all these years, and the hotel was booked up. I mean, there's people everywhere. They're making money, but I guess they're not gonna fix the wiring. They're not gonna redo that. Maybe there's a code in the village. I don't know, but I never saw that before. It's the first time and only time I've ever seen that. No ironing. That was interesting. So yeah, everybody's walking around all wrinkly.
Yeah. Here, I want to share my thoughts how I would choose the destination. I have three things to when it come in my mind to choose the destination. First, what kind of the lands and its culture, and what's the weather? Not like the hot or cold weather. Like we discussed the mountains, also the if the land is simply landscape, not the mountain. Also, if is it a historical place or not? Same like because when I went to the Azerbaijan, maybe you have heard Baku. It's closed. It was a part of the Russia before, and when I reached there, I just watched the movies like what kind of Europe looked like in Spain, like the buildings, the culture. It was totally the same thing. So I said it's really cheap and also have the same culture, same people. Everyone is nice. So and also have high mountains with the beautiful views. Things actually always things in my mind to when I choose the destination.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Clarence,
Uh,
when you was in Italy, in Rome, and you was at Vatican, I was there last year, and it's what an incredible place, the Vatican.
oh yeah. That time when I went there, I see a lot of the things that you only see on on the book,
Yeah,
on the picture, like the Madonna, those sculpture of Michelangelo, all those the 16th painting on the ceiling,
yeah,
all those garden inside the Vatican, and the main ground by the entrance door where the Pope always cite the service. It was a great experience, and the fact that that area is made of marbles.
yeah,
Because you notice in the new built city, you cannot even see those type of material anymore.
yeah,
It's mainly more on metal, glass, and concrete,
yeah.
and lights.
Well, London's like that now.
Part of London, yeah,
Yeah,
it is. But some part of London, particularly by the area itself, like going to Watford area, it's
yeah,
still preserving those type of i- um identity of being on that country. One of the best places I have been that I've been amazed is the Portugal in Lisbon.
yeah,
Wall to wall are made of cobblestone. Even the side street is made of cobblestone, and you cannot even see that one in a new modern city. And
yeah,
that makes me say, oh wow, thank you that I have been to this country and experienced the how they put all those cobblestone in a good pattern. You'll
yeah,
be amazed. That's the thing that I always look on the travel, not the place itself, but what the things that makes the place different from other places. Yeah, that's one of the thing that I adore Rome, because everywhere you look is made of marbles.
Are you saying marbles? Like actual like marbles?
Now a marble in a type of stone.
Oh,
yes,
marble. Okay.
Yeah, a marble, a type of stone that is just very nowadays it's too expensive.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, very
Yeah,
expensive. Yeah. Okay.
it's an
Wow.
absolutely incredible place, the Vatican. Incredible.
yeah.
Ali, You was in the
Yes.
UK, right? You studied in the UK.
Yeah. Yes, I studied there.
How many years did you live in the UK?
1.5 year.
Oh, short.
Just a study.
Yeah. Have you travelled a lot in Europe, Dave?
When I was in the Navy, we went to yeah, it was the Navy. We went to Edinburgh. I was no wait. I might have spoken too fast. Holy Lock. I was on a boat and we passed Northern Ireland, right? There's a big rock there off the coast of Ireland that's famous. I think it's called Elsa Cray or Elsa Craig. It's a huge rock. I don't know what number it is as far because it's not an island. It's a
Yeah.
rock and it sticks out from the water. It's a navigational aid. All ships use it, to get a fix on their position. So, but I could see Northern Ireland from where we were, and but we didn't go there. We ended up docking in Holy Lock. I don't know if that's the name of the town or if that was the name of the bay. Like there was a small, because they had a big boat, which is the tender, right? And then all the boats would sort of line up against the big boat. So I would have to go from my boat to another boat to another boat to the tender to the other end of the tender, go down, and then go back and then get the ferry or the water taxi to the pier, take a taxi from the pier to the ferry, stop and get some fish and chips, gotta get some fish and chips, and then hop on the other ferry. And I think we were in Dunoon, Scotland, and then
Yeah.
we went to Dunoon. I don't remember. I always forget, but whatever that is. And then we took the train to Glasgow, and
Yeah.
that was fun. I have a whole Glasgow story, but yeah, that was my Navy experience was Scotland and Glasgow. I'll tell you the story real quickly. I was supposed to get a hotel. So remember, I'm 61. This is 43 years ago. I am 18 years old. I'm a young man, 19 years old, whatever I am. And rock and roll was very different back then than it is now. And I was supposed to, let me back up. I made a deal with my superiors, with the guy I worked for on the boat. I said, let me work every day for the next 20 days extra, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I'll clean. I will sort whatever everybody goes on liberty. I will stay and I will work every night and I will do extra. Okay. So he makes a whole list of things for me to do. We get to Scotland and I want to get the weekend off. I want a weekend leave, not liberty for one night. I want a weekend. So that was the deal. I would work, he'd give me the weekend off. I get to Glasgow, Scotland, Friday night, and I go to the Glasgow Apollo and I see Kiss, the
Oh
band
my.
Kiss. And I think Bon Jovi opened up for Kiss at the Glasgow Apollo. So understand, this is 43, 42 years ago.
Years ago.
It was a great time. It was a great time. So I go back to the hotel. Understand, I worked every night, 2 hours, 3 hours extra to get this weekend, right? Very important to me. I had plans to go to London, Piccadilly Circus. Is that
Yeah.
where, right?
Yeah.
That was my plan to take the train from Glasgow to London. Piccadilly. I was going to go see a band called Queensryche and maybe Queen or maybe I forgot what the band was like. Maybe Black Sabbath. Maybe I don't know. Just heavy metal bands. I had my leather jacket. It would look really cool in England. I go to bed in the hotel Friday night after the Kiss concert. I did not drink. I did not smoke. I was 19 years old. I went to sleep. I forget what time I woke up. I went to sleep. When I woke up, I looked. The curtains were drawn. The curtains were like this. I opened up the curtains and I look. I go, why does that look like sunset? Or is that sunrise, but it's different in Scotland, but it looks like sunset. And I look at the clock and it's military time. I had slept like 16 hours. And by the time I woke up, the train is gone. the concert is, forget about I can't make it to London. It was like 5 o'clock. I had to call the front desk to make sure that my clock was working, and
Yes, correct. Yeah.
I was so I was so confused. I was like, how did that happen? I never sleep more than 6 hours, seven, never. I slept like 15, 16 hours because I worked so hard that whole week, that whole month, to get that weekend. So Saturday, I think I ended up seeing, I either went to see Nazareth at some local pub. Remember the band Nazareth? You might not remember, but they have a song called "Son of a Bitch" and "Hair the Dog." Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I might have seen Karate Kid. I don't know. I might have seen a movie. I don't remember. But I did do both. Anyway, that was my European travel story as a 19-year-old in the Navy. I kind of missed my train. So,
I'm
but
giving you some trivia on Glasgow. You know that Glasgow, there's a building there which resembles the Opera House in Australia.
oh, that big
Really?
the one that you
Yeah,
always see on TV, that big
yeah.
It's in the Opera
But
House, yeah.
in Glasgow, it's just only one side. Not unlike in Australia, they have four dimension, four corners.
oh,
That's where I see that in Glasgow.
So
The Opera House in Glasgow,
they
but it's
bought the
also
Sydney Opera House on Wish. Then
is that the
yeah,
one?
they bought it on Temu or Wish.
Ah, I see. I hope so. They buy it on Timu. Anyhow,
yeah.
How many years were you in the Navy, Dave?
Almost four.
4
Almost.
years.
Almost, yeah. Yeah. So good enough.
Yeah,
It was not going to be my career. And but I did like the water, I did like the ocean, I did like the travel. But you know what? It was wasted on me because I was what they call young and dumb, too young and too dumb to really understand the opportunity that I had. Because we did go to Bangkok, we did go to Singapore, we were supposed to go to China, but that got canceled for some reason. I don't remember why. We were in the Philippines and Korea. Korea. I forgot the name. It wasn't Seoul. It was somewhere by the water, but it's famous. Anyway, yeah. So we traveled, and I traveled domestically too in the Navy in the United States. Texas, Florida, and but I wasted my experiences because I was too young and too dumb, and didn't realize how good I had it because it's free travel. You have to work very hard.
yeah,
You don't just sit on a beach chair and watch the waves go by. They make you work, and you're running drills all the time. You're always like in the threat of danger. They want you to feel like at any moment now we're going to be at war. So you're always running drills. But yeah, it was nice. I would love to do it now, with this head now, knowing that yeah, we're going to work hard and we're going to get there and it's going to be great. We're going to have a good time. I don't have to get drunk. I don't have to spend my money frivolously. It's different as an adult. I wish well, they wouldn't take me now, but it would be nice to do it now. Right?
yeah. Ali, you were in
Yes, so
Copenhagen this week.
yeah,
Was that for work?
yes. Same. I think we have discussed 2 days ago. It was by the company called the Nordic Spirit by the
Yeah.
government tourism department. It was for 3 to 4 days. Then we returned back.
Oh, it's frozen.
Oh God, my internet connection is
oh
troubling.
yes, yes, he's reconnecting.
Where's your next destination, Clarence?
I'm looking forward to once my passport arrives because I just renewed my passport. My next destination will be Korea.
Oh, Korea.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
mates. My internet connection was troubling, so I don't
it's
know
fine.
the Wi-Fi was correct. It was actually the company, it was by the Nordic Spirit. Maybe you have heard of it. It's the government organization by the tourism department. They actually want to boost the tourism by the two governments. So one of our major companies were included, and we went there to join the exhibition.
Do you have any more? When's the next destination for you, Ali?
By the company or by personally? By
I guess both.
the company, I don't know. Maybe we have to check for the next, the exhibition, maybe in Dubai. But for the personally, I am planning to in May for the USA, for the New York. I had planning for this year, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that because I didn't get the appointment for the embassy.
Oh
So
wow.
I already got the appointment, and in May, I hope I will be there.
I'm sure Dave can give
For
you a lot of recommendations for New York.
Yes, Ali.
yeah,
I will
yeah,
be your
yeah. In the
friend,
beginning,
and I
already
I
said that
don't
once
live
I
near there.
reach, I will disturb you there. Already here.
This will be my pleasure. I
So
don't live there. I don't live in the city anymore, but I could definitely give you some great advice. I know where you can get very inexpensive pizza, and you'll love it. If you've
okay,
never had
sure.
New York City pizza, I know where you can go, and you will eat like a king. It's delicious.
I have some friends there living in New
Oh,
York, but I don't depend on friends. But maybe they're also job persons, so I will try to explore by myself. If somebody is free, I will disturb him to together to visit. I have just the New uh, New York Square time and also the Liberty, the Statue of Liberty, and there are some more places in my bucket list. I will try to explore all of
yeah.
these. So, sticking to the podcast, I think we have missed some of the question we discussed in the group chat, isn't it?
I have the questions here.
Go ahead.
Travel planning.
Yeah.
So when you've booked your flights and you've chose your destination,
hmm
uh, how do you go about planning your trip?
For planning the trip, as Clarence said, the first major question about the flight ticket, I will check first of all which airline is the cheap. I will compare the price. First of all, I will put in my bucket list 2 to 3 countries. Obviously, the price wise, first for the living cost, for the culture, tickets, and the food as well. The flights, there are some options. I will Google it, which I'm getting the cheapest. Or maybe if I'm planning to travel to the Europe, I will search on Wizz Air. You all know Wizz Air.
Yeah,
It's the low cost air budget airline. Then for the hotels, it's the more important whenever you go, because once you look the places you want to go and live, you want to choose the place by the city center or by the a little far. I will choose close, but as you know, the hostels, if the hotel is expensive. So there are three more things I will compare and I will choose. That's all.
so when I've booked my travel and I know the destination I'm going, then I will go to YouTube and watch a lot of vlogs to tell what's the nice place, what's the nice place to visit, and where to eat and things like this. TripAdvisor as well is a very very helpful website.
Yeah, it is. It
You find
is
a lot of good
TripAdvisor.
information there. And with the hotel, as you said, Ali, I like to. It's not important. Well, it is important the price, but more important is the location of the hotel.
Obviously.
It's close to where the places where you want to visit. It's not like half an hour by taxi, for example. It's easily walkable or easily by train.
Yeah, because if you choose the, as you said, a little bit for like 30 minutes by the taxi or by the walk, in the other hand, the cost is gonna be the same. If you choose the cheaper hotel or the hostel, if you want to go to the city center or the place you want to visit, on the other hand, you have to pay
Yeah.
the other price. So I always suggest my clients, as I'm already in a book for my clients, to choose wisely. If you have the destination, like for example, you are going to Italy and you're planning is Rome, what kind of you're gonna choose, hostel or hotel? Let's suppose most of the people choose the hotel if they're individuals or they don't care about that. For example, a solo traveler, they said, okay, it should be the cheaper, but should be the cheaper. Like the hostel is okay. So if you're going with the family or with the groups, you obviously say that I want to live in the hotel, not the hostel, because it makes you comfortable. The more space to live. Check everything like on Expedia or Booking.com, because Booking.com and Expedia also mention the closest places to visit as the destination. Yeah, also the cities that are how far is that. So you can compare the price for the hotel for the living, and in the other hand, for the places what you are gonna do in your destination. Let's say there's a city tour or there's a old castle or something like the ride. If all these things are closer in one city, if for example if one place is like 5 miles, another one is like 3 miles or 2 miles, I will choose in the center all of these places. That's my idea.
I've never actually stayed in a hostel before. I don't think I would be. I don't think I'd be open to that, to be honest. I prefer to be comfortable and have your own privacy.
Yeah, even
We
I'm
lost you,
sorry,
Ali.
even
Yeah.
sometimes I also do that in the hostels. You know, we should have some experience about that. It's a small place, but some things to learn about.
But then you have to share with, I don't know, 5, 10 people.
In my experience, I was in Istanbul 2 years ago. That the time was not a peak for the tourism. I went, the hostel was completely empty. They had 4 or 5 rooms, and one room they have like 5 dormitory beds. When he gave me the keys, I entered the room. It was totally empty. So I was lucky. I had the total privacy of that.
We was in Istanbul as well. Our hotel was like 5 minutes walking from the main square, where we have Hagia Sophia, Blue Mosque.
Yeah, I think you were closer to cross the river. Am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah. That place have a lot of hotels as well. I think Clarence is gone, or he's still here.
yeah. I think he's
Dinner.
gone.
He went to
Oh,
eat
sorry.
dinner. Yeah, it's
It's
okay.
okay.
I stayed at a hostel in Chicago, Illinois. One time, my whole life, I stayed at a hostel, and I loved it. I loved it because I didn't care that it was semi-private. I didn't care. It was very inexpensive, which was great. It's actually a famous hostel in Chicago. I didn't know. It's I think it might be the only one, or one of few, or the oldest one, but it's a famous one. I don't remember the name of it. It was in a very interesting part of Chicago. It wasn't like in the city. Like it was outside the city, but it was in a hip, young, like college area, university area, whatever. So there was a lot of young people, and I shared a room with some young people, and they were fascinating. College students, traveling, gamers, coders, whatever they were. And this was probably about 6 years ago. So I'm again the old man, but they were very nice, very talkative, and Nobody snored at night. It was that's the problem. Is the snoring is like who's going to snore? Who's going to keep everybody awake? Or who's going to come in drunk and be irresponsible? But they were all very nice guys, and there might have been a girl or two somewhere else, but it was a great for me. It was a great experience, and I would do it again. I would totally stay in a hostel. My wife would never stay in a hostel. Never, no, no. But I would, you know. I
Yeah,
listen. I would sleep on the. Go ahead, Ali. Go ahead.
the couples never do these things. They
No.
always prefer the privacy.
Yes. Yes. And we're not gonna do nothing in private. It's nothing. It's not gonna be an exciting night. I can tell you that
You
right
know,
now, Ali.
the men's have different thinking, but the women's are very concerning about these things.
Yes. Which is
Yeah,
understandable. Which is understandable.
yeah. It should be. It
Yeah.
should be. Yeah. I want to add one more thing about the hostel. If the people are, for example, say the solo travelers or the individuals are traveling, if they choose hostels, I would mention three things that they should care about: that their money, their luggage, and especially their travel documents.
Right.
Because you don't know your roommate is how is he, how his what his nature. As if the crowded people always have some pickpockets. So we don't know what kind of, who's sleeping in our next dormitory or a dormitory. So these things the people should care about, that have to be safely. You should drink some
True.
water.
Yeah.
Do you live in Saudi Arabia, Ali, or Dubai?
No, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Because
I
I've never.
Yeah, I was in Dubai from 2016 to 19 before the COVID. When the COVID came, I left because our company, is just finished because with the COVID time, 3 to 4 months, there is no tourism, totally locked down. Everything is closed. Even we have to go out, we have to take the permission. Like we had to send the message to the government. If they give the permission, then we have to go. We have 2 hours to go outside, so it was very hard for us. And then I think in March or the February they allow us to have the test if you want to leave the country. I was waiting for that kind of chance. I just get the virus corona test, and I asked the company I don't want to live here anymore because it's very hard to survive. Because if the job person is not easy to survive. So the company said, okay, if you want to go, it's fine. So I booked the ticket and came back to Pakistan. And after the
Wow.
coronavirus, I remember after 3 or 4 months, the whole world started opening for the travelers. Then I had a visit to Saudi Arabia, and luckily I got the job.
I've never really
But
looked into traveling to Saudi Arabia or
I think
Dubai
you
as well.
should. I think you should. If Saudi Arabia, not because the most of the people have heard differently by the political views about the Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of uh, limitations. You can do this, you can do, you can drink alcohol, you can go to the club. But that's the old thing. Like it was before 2 years, but now they are totally open. They have opened the clubs. You can do drinks. By the way, I'm also Muslim. I don't do such things. But especially for the foreigners, if they are coming, they have clubs, they have pubs, they have the cinemas, everything. Maybe you have heard in the news before 3 or 4 months. Maybe you heard in the news they have the biggest concern, music festival. Even the famous singers came to Saudi Arabia and they perform. Even Rihanna and some European singers as well, even from Pakistan as well. But now they're totally open for the world. But if you get a chance to visit the Middle East, I would suggest you to first visit Dubai or Abu Dhabi. It's the best.
I've seen like a lot of pictures of Dubai, and it's really beautiful there.
It is indeed, because if we compare in the Middle East these two countries, the Qatar, it's a different story about the Qatar. For Dubai and Saudi Arabia, Dubai is totally artificial. The land, the buildings, everything. is artificial. It's built by man-made.
Yeah.
Everything is man-made.
The only
And
place.
moreover, I want to add, because when I think to travel, what kind of the people of its country, because I've been there to UAE. In Arab, UAE is the country. The next generation is totally educated. Maybe you have heard he's Arab, maybe he's not educated. He is maybe the he walk with the sheep and something like that. It's maybe we all have heard about that. But the UAE peoples, everyone is educated. They know how to treat you. That's the best thing about the UAE. I observe. So I always say, if you want to go visit the Middle East, just travel UAE, Dubai.
The only place that I know in Saudi Arabia is the Mecca. I've never
No,
heard of.
there are two holy cities which are very holy for Muslim peoples. Is Mecca and Medina. Medina is place for the Prophet Muhammad, and the Mecca is the host of Allah. Our God. These
Oh,
two
Clarence
places,
is back.
non-Muslims cannot visit these two places, but the rest of the world, rest of the place like Jeddah, Riyadh, Dammam, everything they want to boost is Neom City, which is closer to Al Ula and Riyadh. These two places you can visit. They have to build everything. They are still trying to do that.
How are you, Clarence?
I'm okay. Having my quick meal.
Okay.
My mate is just saying, yeah, I'm starving. So
Was
just
it so
say,
spicy? Because I had Philippine people's eat so much spicy.
well, the Philippine food to be considered is a mixture of all influences.
Right.
Influence from
Hmm.
Spain, influence from Chinese, influence from the Malay. That's why it's a mix of spicy, sweet, and salty, and some exotic as well. Probably, Dave, you already taste the balut.
No.
I
It's
don't
an egg.
remember. I don't.
It's an egg embryo that you have to eat it boiled, and then you have to have some little bit of soup. And I think every travelers trying to experience on how to eat balut. It's an egg embryo. It's like an
Okay.
exotic food. Yeah.
Is it
Sounds
similar
exotic.
to the noodles with the boiled egg?
No, it's not. It's a before it hatch, the egg before it hatch, they boiled it.
Oh, because I had this thing.
I don't know.
Yeah. So that's
As
one of
soon
the exotic food.
as soon as you say embryo, I'm out. I don't know. I don't know. I heard embryo. And for me, embryo is Filipino for out.
Yeah.
I'm
I
out. I'm out.
Yeah.
I
It's
zoned
okay.
out as well.
Yeah. Ali, I'm going to try to make he walks with sheep popular in the United States. I'm going to start referring to certain people like that. I know some people like that. He who walks with sheep. I never heard that. I hope it's not too derogatory, but I know what you're saying, and it's pretty funny. I never heard that. Is that okay with you if I bring it to the United States? No, you didn't hear it. You might not have heard it. All right. There you go.
Okay. So the next subject is any scams or any problems of travelling, Clarence?
Traveling
You've already mentioned
scam.
about getting robbed in Rome.
Yeah, I think that's the scam that scam is thing that I experienced from my 25 years of traveling. Yeah, I think that's the worst one I ever had, which is I've been the story is that was Christmas when my sister from New Zealand came over to the UK, and we planned to visit the Rome as part of Christmas thing to have a service of the Pope during Christmas Day. However, it hasn't happened because my sister preferred to stay back in the UK because she don't feel safe. So it happens when we enter to the train, and then these four girls trying to squeeze us, and my wallet is in my jacket, and along probably it's not even reached the next stop. I found out that I lost my wallet because I used to put there my ticket to exit the next terminal, and that's it. They include all my cards, my euro cash, and of course the wallet that my sister gave it to me on that day. So yeah.
We need to make sure wherever we travel to make sure you always keep your eyes on your belongings. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
I highly recommend that one. You have to put on your, if you're wearing a jacket, put it in front of you
yeah,
so they were not going to rob or to do something, or you invite people to rob you.
yeah. I usually travel with a man bag, and it's I always have my hand on the bag at all times when I'm on a train, for example.
Man bag is a good it's a good tools in order for you to keep all your stuff. However, if your man bag is being snatched, and that's it, that's the end of story.
Yeah,
I rather have it inside my jacket, the inside part of the jacket,
yeah,
and that's it. Or better, just bring nothing at all, or just only a small cash,
yeah.
and don't ever bring your passport with you.
No, no.
Just have the passport. Take a picture of your passport. By any chance something happened, because once your passport's being stolen, lost, or something happened with your passport, it's another avenue to get to that point that you've been stressed, you've been annoyed of what's happened, and then it takes time for you to get back the travel documents to come back to your country. I don't experience that yet, but I don't want to experience that at all. So I always have my picture of my passport, and I only, even my driver's license, is by any chance they ask me for another photo ID, I always have a picture of my passport on my phone. That's it.
Ali,
Yeah. First, I will share my first experience of the traveling. When I was traveling the first time to Dubai back in 2016, I forgot my ticket. That time, we usually take the print of their ticket and go to the airport. I got the print from the travel agency. I print my visa. We had the paper e-visa. I carry visa and passport. I forgot the ticket in my home. When I reached the airport, and the counter staff asked me, "Show me your air ticket." I take out the documents. Oh, where is my ticket? I forgot. So I missed the flight and I go back and had to reschedule my ticket. So that was the bad experience. After that, I would say notice some of the points when you traveling. You have to be careful about that. First of all, you get all the documents which are necessary, like your passport, your air ticket. Now people can do the check-in and do the boarding pass over the phone and the other stuff as well. First, when you land your destination, try to get connected. Like try to get the internet or where you want to, because if you don't have the internet or the SIM card, how are you gonna reach your destination? If you have booked your airport transfer to the hotel, I would highly recommend to the viewers, if any chance we air this said podcast, get the eSIM card. Maybe there are lots of websites. You can get the eSIM card, put in your phone. Second, when you check out, try to be aware of the people from the taxi guys. They always say, we can take you to the hotels like this much, but they
Right, yeah.
always, for you they are lottery. You're actually walking ATM whenever you're
yeah,
traveling. So just have to be careful. First, I would say, first book the airport transfer if your hotel is a little bit far from the airport. So that's actually the major things I want to share. What about Dave?
Dave.
We can't
I had
hear.
the I had the mute on. I had the mute on because I didn't want any extra noise. Thank you, Ali. That was a good handover, like a professional. You did a great job. So the
Thank you.
question is, you're welcome. The worst experience. If we're talking about bad
The worst
experiences,
experience or a scam you've had, or yeah,
I got to tell you. Well, I have a story I can't repeat on the show until we do an X-rated show, so I can't do that story. But I will tell you, I've been pretty lucky. I've been pretty blessed. I really haven't had an experience where I've lost money, or lost my tickets, or I got mugged, or like I haven't. Not that I can remember. I haven't had anything bad. You know, long lines. You know, like I. So I really can't share anything with you horrible. One day I'll share my X-rated story, but I can't do that now. Yeah, I really have nothing bad for you. We were in Okinawa, Japan. Uh, this is, I don't know, one small thing. When we were in the Navy, we were in the Philippines, and the peso was very affordable. Very. The dollar was very strong. And we went to different countries, and as Americans, our money was very good. Then we went to Okinawa, and the dollar was incredibly weak, but bad, like really, really bad. I forgot how much. What was the conversion was yen, and the yen was incredibly strong. And when you go from the Philippines, and a beer, a San Miguel beer, is like $1, 75 cents, whatever, much less than 100%. And then you go to Okinawa, and it's like $5, $6, $7. It's like it was so much money that you're just holding your drink all night, one drink all night, and you're just kind of sipping it, because we couldn't
That's very
afford.
bad.
Yes, it's very bad. That's my worst story. It's not my X-rated story, but it's my worst story. So we didn't know, because again, we were young and dumb. But we went to see a band. It was a famous band at the time, and we were so excited to see them in a small. It was a small club. It wasn't even like an arena, and it was just very upsetting that it was so expensive. So the waiter would come and say, "You know, we were at a table. Would you like any more drinks?" No, no, I'm good. I'm just still. It was very, very different. And the true story is, in that area where there was military living, there was Americans living in Okinawa. The wives of many of the servicemen, of the enlisted men, they had to get jobs, and there wasn't a lot of work. Wasn't a lot of clerical, administrative work for the women. So a lot of the wives of the men who were in the military had to dance. They became adult dancers, and it was very controversial at the time. There was nothing they couldn't afford, even living on base, living on the base of the military, the American military. They couldn't afford it. It was so expensive. That's how weak the dollar was. So anyway, that's my worst story. I've been very lucky. I haven't missed a plane. No, that's not true. I did miss a plane, but it was my fault, and I got the next plane. I've had only good fortune. I've been lucky. Good fortune. So sorry. There you go. There you go.
um, the only story I have about it's not exactly a scam, but when I was in Rome, um, when you're walking around the Colosseum, there's guys selling phone chargers and water and umbrellas,
Yeah.
but they're illegal because if they see a police coming, they will run away. So they're selling without a license, basically, around there.
Okay, so and yeah, I noticed that one as well in Rome. That most of the vendor they have a ID in front of them.
Yes, yeah.
Said probably that's the reason why when the police just appear, everybody's running away. Yeah. And another experience to adopt, yeah. Another extraordinary experience that I experience is when I travel and my passport is not valid for another year.
Oh,
Yeah. my passport, because when I was working in the cruise ship, I used the agency in Thailand. So I was thinking that it's easy to get passport in embassy in Thailand rather than in the home office in the Philippines. So I leave the Philippines to renew my passport in Thailand. However, during that time, the passport design of the Philippines is changing into different color. And then the only time that I can get passport is to go to Laos, which is not even 6 months to travel. You're not allowed to travel within if your passport is not valid for more than six
Yeah,
months.
yeah, that's a requirement.
Yeah, that's a requirement. So because of me being okay, is it still possible? You have the idea everything is possible. So I went to Embassy of Thailand saying, "Oh, the only passport available now within the area that's still issuing the green passport is in Laos." So right away I booked a flight on that day.
You're in
Unfortunately,
Laos.
yeah, going to Laos. Unfortunately, I get the ticket, but unfortunately, when I check in on the counter, they don't allow me because it's not 6 months valid my passport is.
Same hurdle.
So I end up using the train from Bangkok to travel night going to Laos. As Dave says, luck that when luck strike, everything is possible.
That's
So
true.
I
That's
went
true.
there, crossing the border, and the embassy and the immigration of Thailand checked me out from their country, and then going to Laos. That is the biggest ever. The pride or you're scared of, am I going in or I will going because there will be no country in between that.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have my U.S. visa. Instead of me showing my passport, I show my US visa on my passport and they just scan my US visa instead of my passport and they allow me to go in. That was the what you called luck.
Yeah.
And then from there, the next day, before the embassy in of the Philippines in Laos opens, and they have two more passport left that they can issue, and one of that passport was been waiting for me. So that's one an extraordinary experience. So for those who listen to trying to how you overdo your travel documents, don't try because sometimes the luck is not on you, and you probably end up in a country that no one wants to allow you to go in because you don't have the proper documentation. So that was the experience that I haven't been probably I never forget because me just being too it's still possible, it's still possible. That I think that's a Filipino way of just okay, everything will go. But since when I moved down here in the UK, before it expires 3 months, you already have your passport ready. So it's easy to renew passport here. You just go on online and that's it. Compare with the Philippines that you have to queue or something. So yeah, that's one of my experience that I can probably share on this podcast and letting all the listener not to jeopardize your chances of going or else you will be probably banned if I've been caught or I've been stuck on two countries. I'll be probably banned not to travel. So yeah, as I said, Dave says when you're lucky, you're lucky.
Right, 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 right. You know, Luke, this is a great segment right here. We've been talking about our dreams, dream locations, all the good stories, where we've been and what we want and all that other stuff. And it's great to hear, right? Everybody, it's inspirational. It's really nice. But something that is important and maybe equally as nice, but it's not happy, is to hear the worst. When you do this type of segment in a podcast,
Yeah.
you want the viewers or the listeners to share with us, what is your worst story? What is your biggest scam, or what was your most dangerous moment? Because that's where you learn. You learn from these things. And travel, for many people, I'm sure, is they don't really know the moving pieces, the different layers of getting on board, getting off board, getting on the plane, getting off the plane, getting your luggage, getting a taxi, the tipping, the eating, So I think that's a good segment to bring in, to invite the viewers and the listeners either to write it in the chat if you post this on YouTube or whatever, or to email if you have an email, Twitter or whatever, or to come on this show, or maybe
Great
send
point.
you
Yeah.
a pre-recorded. That's not to make fun of anybody, not to enjoy their story, but you know what? It's good to know, like when you go, what you said with Rome, these things are illegal, or don't drink the water, don't eat this food, don't have high expectations. When you go to Switzerland, you're going to have a fancy meal. You might just have a hot dog. So you might just end up with a basic bratwurst. So anyway.
That's a great point, Dave, that we could have in the future live viewers on the show with comments saying this, that, and we could feed off the comments exactly like that, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's important to know about the passport. Passports are, I would hate to be stuck in limbo at an airport, or to sleep on the floor, in between countries. I know that there's these famous, I don't know how famous they are. There are three men. I forget where they're from. They might be from Israel. I don't remember. But I saw their documentary, and they walked the Camino. They walked the Camino. They might have ridden bicycles. I don't remember. But they walked the Camino from Port Saint Jean, France, all the way to Diego de Compostela, all across Spain. Then they decided they wanted to either ride bicycles, I think, or walk and ride bicycles. And they went in the opposite direction, but they continued on to Jerusalem. And it's a documentary. It's a book, I think. You got to Google it. And it's called The Jerusalem Way. Jerusalem, W-A-Y, Jerusalem Way. So when I go to Spain this way, I hope I have the time and I can turn around and the money and the energy to go the other way and go to Jerusalem walking. But you can't walk through, as far as I remember, I think it's Syria. You can't walk through Syria because apparently dangerous. It's not friendly to people. You have to fly over it, which is probably a whole nother story. But anyway, it's one of those things you need to know, that there are obstacles sometimes in travel, but if you anticipate the obstacle, if you're prepared, then it's not so bad because you know it's coming. But if it's a surprise to you, it's a problem. If you don't have
Dave,
Wi-Fi, it's a problem. Yeah.
I have a
Yes, sir.
question, because you have the experience with the podcast. Maybe it comes all of our month, Luke, Clarence. What things should we be careful about during the podcast? Like the etiquettes, the movement, and what kind of the talking, the accent, and the gestures. I need your recommendation because you have the experience.
Oh, thank you, Ali. It's great. I think, first of all, it's baby steps. It's all baby steps.
Yeah,
Consistency and experience will make everything work. There's no
true.
magic potion. There's no magic wand. Uh, Somebody has to be at the controls. Like right now, it's Luke. He found Riverside. Great. Riverside's great. I'm going to learn Riverside with somebody else after this call or this weekend. I'm studying with somebody to learn Riverside so I can help. But to be consistent, all of
Mm-hmm.
us or whoever, is important. To be honest, important. To be truth. To not. Well, you don't need to lie. Every story is fantastic. Dubai,
Yeah, it
fantastic.
should be on base.
Brazil. What's that?
I should be on truth based. Yeah, like
Truth-based, absolutely
yeah.
authentic, truth-based, and eventually the sound will be better, the picture will be better. It's fine now, but we'll all be in frame, like we're in frame. Luke, you're a little bit out of frame. You're a little bit down here. There you
I'm a little
go.
bit down.
Yeah. Now look at us. We're even. We're even. We,
I will get tomorrow one light in front of me because I look dark. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. I mean, it's all experience, and you just have to. And then, really, for me, what I tell all people, you need to really enjoy it. You need to have fun. This has to be fun, because if it's not fun, if it seems like work, I don't want to work. I already have a job. You know, we
Yeah.
all have jobs. I don't want to come to the computer and work. And it should be easy. We're very good listeners. I see that we're all good listeners, and we're all good talkers. We all four men of a certain age from different parts of the world. This is like my childhood dream. I never thought about it, but this is like my childhood. It's like, wow, I don't know any of you. I've never met you. Yet four men talked for an hour and 43 minutes. That's
Yeah.
amazing in this day and age.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's great not to be political too. That's also very good. No
Yeah.
politics. No. It might be important one day when we talk about something. I don't know. I mentioned Marcos, but that's not really a bad thing. Clarence is not upset that Marcos got thrown out 43 years ago. It's okay.
Yeah.
But he could have been, and I would have apologized. I didn't mean to. He might have been a child in the Philippines. It might have been difficult for him to be there. But yeah, to be sensitive and all that stuff. But I think we did a great job. It was really fascinating. I can't wait to meet you guys again. Maybe in person. Maybe in New York. We'll have a pizza, Ali. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
And
come
the
to.
sure.
cheese and the
Maybe in
cheesecake.
May.
Oh,
Yeah.
cheesecake. Yeah, cheesecake. Ali,
New York
I love
cheesecake.
cheesecake, yeah.
cheese.
Yeah,
I love
cheesecake's
it.
great. And also maybe one day I'll come to Dubai. And I know you're not there, but I'll come to Dubai. I want to see an F1 race. I'm an
Abu
F1
Dhabi.
fan.
It's in Abu
Abu
Dhabi.
Dhabi, yeah.
Yeah.
Azerbaijan or Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia, yeah. I want to see. I'm an auto racing fan. So when I go to Gainesville, I'm going to go to I go to the drag races down there, the NHRA. I see drag racing, which is not as big in Europe. I think you have it in Australia, but it's not as big in Europe. But anyway, I'm a big auto racing fan, so that's part of my. I like to use that as a tool, auto racing and running. I run. I know I don't look like it, but I run. To use that as a tool for when you asked before, where do you go? How do you decide where you're going to go? Well, when I go somewhere, I want something to do.
Yeah.
I can look at castles all day long. I can go to museums. I could do that in a book, in a movie. I could do it online. But I want to experience the people. I want to experience the culture. So, yeah, it'd be great to do it. So I think I answered your question, Ali. It's like we just need to do this again and again and again, and it'll become obvious
Yeah.
to you. First you're born, then you crawl,
Exactly. Yeah.
then you walk, and then you
Then run.
run. Yeah, then you sprint, and then whatever.
You slow
So,
down.
Yes, you do
Stay.
slow down.
Honestly, I was a little bit nervous about today because I don't have exactly the setup for the podcast. I had a discussion with Luke before 2 days. I said we will just see how we can do that, and I think Luke we can do. I just need to improve for the background and for these things as well.
I was
Yeah.
feeling nervous as well before we started. But Dave, I think what makes this podcast unique is the fact we have you from the USA, Ali from Pakistan, Clarence from Philippines, me from the UK, and more. We have Elsa from Lebanon, Simone from Italy, and my wife
Oh,
Nelly from Brazil. So we have 7 people from all different parts of the world.
Yeah, like whole world connected.
Wow. Are any of those names women?
Yes, we have two women.
That would be the one thing that I would suggest if it's possible, because it does balance out. They have a different perspective. Ali mentioned it before when he talked about staying in a hostel. Women, but even Luke doesn't want to stay in a hostel. That's interesting. For me, I was about to say I could sleep on the street for all I care. If I was traveling alone, I could
Yeah.
just sit
yeah.
on a bed like. And that's it. I don't care. I don't care. I've done that. I've slept in my car. I've slept in my car when I travel. I don't care. It's not important to me. But in the United States, we have Planet Fitness. I don't know if you have Planet Fitness where you are. It's a gym, and they're all over this country. And for $10, I don't know what that converts into your money, but for a small amount of money, I have a shower, I have a toilet, and I have a urinal. I can take care of everything every day, almost anywhere in the world. almost in the United States, excuse me, almost anywhere in the United States is a Planet Fitness. It's a gym, it's a place to go, a spa, what I don't know what you call it where you are, but it's so I'm easy. I'm very easy. I could sleep anywhere. I can sleep on the train. I don't care. But it's great if we had a woman here to have a different perspective. That would be really, really. That would balance out the show just a little bit, and
Yeah.
but and it's good for the audience because the audience wants to see. Listen, we're four handsome men. We're devastatingly handsome men, but having a woman is also very helpful for other women.
Look, what do you think if we share this podcast with our team? Because we are only four in the group. We are almost 7 or 8 people.
Yeah.
I think they should watch this video and later let them give the review. And
Yeah.
once they're ready, we can set a new time for the new podcast.
We can even make
Maybe
it
they
into. I'm not so good at editing. I'm not good at computers and things like that. But as we are already 1 hour, over an hour and a half, we could even slash it and make it 2 podcasts. Because
Yeah.
I think we need to find the editor.
yeah,
Maybe the Dave is expert in editing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Doesn't Riverside have? Did you pay? You paid for it? You signed up for it?
no.
Oh,
I was checking.
yeah,
I was checking. It does have the option for the editing.
yeah. Luke, it's not easy. I don't envy you.
Yeah.
I don't edit at all. I don't.
Hopefully,
I'm
one
sorry.
of the team will be. This will be a strength of one of the team. Hopefully.
I have one, but I don't know she's gonna do that or not. Look,
Right.
who she.
Right. So
I have one final question before we finish today's show.
Yeah, what's that?
So I'm travelling to Brazil for this week, and the travel is more than 12 hours. So it's my longest travel I've ever done, and I'm a bit worried about jet lag. So do you have any experience with jet lag? Anyone?
On my side, when you arrive on your destination, don't go to bed. Just do the normal things you do. If you arrive there like 12 noon, deal with the time there. If you want to eat your lunch, you have your snacks at around 3 and have your dinner. Not just telling yourself, "Oh, I'm been on a long journey and I go straight to bed." No.
Yeah.
Just deal with the time things there and do your regular thing. That's I always do because I always
uh,
travel. The longest travel I did is from UK to the Philippines, which is almost 22 hours flight. And then from there, an overnight, 2 nights in the Philippines, and then I head up down to Australia. So I always thinking that I'm not tired. I'm on travel mode and I don't want to waste my time in bed because when I come back to the UK, I can sleep the whole day.
If
So
you
that stops me to have a jet lag. And
Thanks.
sometimes also what Dave says, run, just to make you, because your adrenaline tells you that I want to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if
So do
if
the regular thing you do. And then when the sunset sets and you have your dinner already with you, have a good chat or whatsoever, a glass of wine, and then sleep at 9 o'clock in the evening. Same thing that what you do in the UK, and that's it. You overcome the bad side of the jet lag. Jet lag, yeah.
Thank you, Clarence. That's good advice.
Ali, you
yeah,
had
if
something
you
you can.
travel, if you are a common traveler, I mean you're traveling by the same airline all the time, you might have the miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try booking with the miles. Maybe you can get the business class. The economy is always uncomfortable for the long flights. If you have the miles, I think you can book with the miles you can get the business class.
Yeah. Another good advice.
Luke,
Yeah.
aren't you traveling? You're traveling from the UK to Brazil, so you're headed west,
Mm,
right?
I think
Down.
it's south.
you're going south, but you're also going west. You're going across the ocean.
Yes, yeah,
You're coming to
Yeah.
this side of the
yeah.
world.
Atlantis. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think the jet lag is going to be as bad because you're going west. So when you get there, it won't be as late. It'll be
Yes,
actually a little
yeah.
bit earlier. I know
So
when I go west to California, when I go west, it's easier than going east because you're going against.
yeah,
I think so. And I remember hearing of that. The thing they tell you to do is to set your watch to the time where you'll be arriving like a day ahead. Like try to
yeah.
get on that schedule ahead
Oh, yeah.
because well, I think it's going to be easier if you're going west, but maybe not. But try maybe changing all your clocks to Brazil time, so you kind of. I know you have to work, you have things to do, but maybe it'll help out a little bit. And then when you get there, it's not such a surprise what time it is, and it's not confusing to you. And by the time you get used to it, it'll be time to go home anyway. So
Yeah, this
it's
is
a week.
brilliant advice from everyone. I think it
Yeah,
really helps that we have a lot of long haul flyers in the team.
yeah,
It's really helpful.
yeah. It's good
And
stuff. You'll
of
be
course,
okay.
enjoy the journey. If the steward don't give you water, just smile. Don't get pissed off with um those challenges you may encounter during your flight because you don't want to deal with all those challenges. You're focused on what you are going where to go. Like for example, sometimes when there's a steward, you're trying to call the steward because it's a long flight. They're serving you a lot of food, they're serving you those things that you think that they're going to serve you. Yeah. And sometimes they shut the light and then you want to drink a lot, you want to ask for water.
Yeah.
Those things that you have to be prepared of something ahead of time, like make sure that you bring water with you rather than waiting for the steward to offer you water.
So don't be don't be
Yeah,
against pressing the call button basically on the plane.
exactly. Yeah, it's because sometimes if you're using the economy seats, if by any chance you be at the window side and you're going to go when the nature calls you
Yeah.
and it's in the evening and two of the people besides you are snoring out loud, you're not going to you getting stressed of how can I pee? I might wake them up. Just
Yeah.
go, you know. Just enjoy the journey of reaching your final destination because those small things are part of your experience that you cannot stop it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy.
So Luke, one last thing before we go. You're very fortunate because I think you said your wife is already Brazilian, right? She's Brazilian.
Yes.
When you go to Brazil and you walk the beaches, don't get caught staring at other Brazilian women. So you are very lucky because you already are with a Brazilian woman. You'll have one in holding hands.
Yeah.
Not me. I'd be looking like, oh wow, what's happening over there on the beach? Wow, this is the best vacation ever. I think I'll just sleep here on the beach.
I've already been warned about this by my colleagues at work actually.
Excellent advice. Excellent advice. Don't get caught looking. But, you're already experienced. You're already experienced. So be
And
careful
how
what
long you
pictures
been
you take.
away?
Yeah.
How long you been away? Luke.
How long? We'll be there for a week.
For a week.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. There you go. Be careful of the pictures you take. Be very be very discriminating. Be careful where you point it. There you go.
Are you
Anyway,
Okay.
traveling
So
to Rio or different city?
no, not unfortunately not Rio. No.
Oh, okay.
Fortaleza.
Fortaleza.
I'll
If you
be
get a
meeting
chance
my
to visit
in-laws for
it,
the first time. So
Oh wow. Wow.
okay.
Okay. Good luck.
so the
Good job,
podcast
Luke.
next. Sorry.
Good job. I was saying good job.
The podcast next week might be an issue because I won't be in the country. So we'll have to arrange a time when I'm back.
For sure.
So thank you guys. We'll leave the podcast there for this week. Thank you.
Thank nice